Hello, Tarot Tube. So this video was meant primarily to be just a walkthrough, sort of an introduction to this deck, the Woodland Fairy Tale Tarot. A little bit of a tongue twister for me. It is written by Cecilia Latari and illustrated by Julia Barreto. So when I saw this, when I first came to my attention, I hit the buy button pretty quick. And then while I was waiting for it to come, I was like, well, I do actually have a fairy tale deck already. I have the Tarot of the Divine, which I really dearly love. I'm extremely fond of Yoshi Yoshitani's artwork. And a friend of mine gave me the actual book for that one. Oops, I didn't have it by my desk, but I'll grab it for you here, which is beautiful. This book, it goes into more detail about all of the fairy tales that are in these cards. And I have several decks that are, work through of the story, like an Alice in Wonderland type deck. So I was just wondering, why does this attract me so much? And I think that fairy tales or any kind of sort of traditional sort of story is just a jumping off point, and it's so easy for me to let my sort of dream world, my intuition, whatever you want to call it, run wild when I've got an anchor to a story. So I thought what I would do is, instead of just walking through this deck, I would sort of do a little bit of a comparison, walk through these two, and think about how this new deck fits into my collection. Like, how are these different? Can the Woodland Fairy Tale Tarot serve a purpose, fill a niche in my collection, my library, that this one, the Tarot of the Divine, doesn't do? So yeah, that's kind of what we're going to do here. I have taken this all out, as you can tell. So yeah, just a quick thing, I suppose, before we do that. So this is how it comes packaged. It's a really sweet little magnetic closed box. It's got this little keyhole. Really, you sort of feel like you're going into your little locked box with your diary or your important book. The book has got nice color illustrations. It's a big size book. Look how big it is. So it's not really a little white book, is it? It's a nice big storybook in a way. So you've got a lot of color. You've got a fair amount of text, but not too much. And instead of having keywords, you have this little not a quote, what should we call it? Guideline. A little bit of guidance. A little guidance. And if they're not giving you reverse, they're just giving you upright. So it's just about the story. They're not trying to do a lot with that. Okay, maybe we'll look a little bit more at this book when we're done. And inside this sweet little box was this tuck box. The deck was in the tuck box. I don't know, that's a little bit fussy for me, so I'm probably just going to put this on a shelf separately so I don't have to bother with it when I take my cards out. All right, that was just a guess. I don't know. So here we've got Little Mermaid and Jack and the Beanstalk, right? So two different energies. I'd have to say that on the surface of it, Jack is a little more foolish than the Little Mermaid is. You could make an argument either way. Let's see, this is awfully glossy. I'm trying to film this, and I'm having a hard time actually seeing it, so I'm hoping that the camera's picking it up okay. Right, so we've got Aladdin. I don't know what this glass of wine seems to be about. I don't remember that. And the fairy godmother for the magician. So maybe this isn't Aladdin. Maybe is that the genie? All right, immediately, already, we're going to the book. Who is this? So it is Aladdin, the card of the magician. Aladdin manages to escape, aided by the genie of the lamp. Aladdin is saved by wine, the sacred drink of Dionysus, god of nature, fertility, ecstasy, and chaos. All right. I do not know that bit about the wine. Something for me to learn. Okay, that was incorrect. All right. The High Priestess, very different. So already you've probably noticed this is a more international deck than this one is. I'm going to just guess, oh, I love the Emperor's Clothes, but I would have been okay if they made him naked. So I'm going to guess that this is a sort of a G-rated deck. We're not going to have nudity. Where was I going with that? I was just saying that I feel like, oh, all right. So yeah, we've got the, okay, so they've varied on how they're ordering the Empress and the Emperor. Okay, so here we go, that one. All right. The Hierophant. Alice is the Hierophant. Interesting. And this one seems to be, I'm seeing more references to Pamela Colvin Smith's artwork, you know, with like this thing. There's nothing there. The Lovers. So this is Beauty and the Beast, and this is Snow White. So they've gone in two different directions there. Chariot. Is that Puss in Boots? Yeah. Okay. I love this strength card. And, oh, that's the Princess and the Pea. All right. As you can tell, I like my fairy tales. But I don't know who this hermit is. Stuff to learn. Okay. I gotta look again. I gotta look. So this is the Shining Fish, an Italian tale, which I do not know. I'm looking forward to learning that. And this is The Poor Man and the Rich Man, which is in the Brothers Grimm collection. A moral lesson about gratitude and the consequences of our actions. Okay. Justice. The Hanged Man. They're both hanged women, actually. Death. Temperance. The Devil. The Tower. Well, this is a beautiful tower. I don't know what tale that. Oh, is that Rapunzel, maybe? Let's see. No, this is Snow White. Sudden and catastrophic. The stepmother. Okay. I didn't know that she came out of a tower. All right. Things to learn. It's got to be Cinderella. The Sun. Judgment. The World. Okay. So, different story in every major arcana for the Woodland Tarot, and the same for this one, the Tarot of the Divine, which I'm more familiar with. So now the question for me is, and I don't know the answer yet, are they going to tell a story through a suit, or are they going to be separate tales? So here we go. Oh, goody. They're telling the story. Lovely. So here is the Sleeping Beauty story. Sleeping Beauty. You know, really the prince in the Sleeping Beauty is kind of the perfect Knight of Swords, isn't he? All right, that's very cool. I'm happy about that. And here we have, in this deck, we've got swords in every image, but it is not the same story. They are different stories. All right, so that was the question that was really on my mind. how were we going to have a single story for each suit? And the answer now is yes, I know. Okay, let's see. Looks like it's Hansel and Gretel. And I think we'll just go side by side. You'll see there how they're different. Oh, this is the hard part. Nice. I need the house to look really good, right? I don't remember this part of the story. So far, up to this point, I am, though. I'm assuming that's the stepmother over here. Okay. All right. Awesome. Now the cups. What story is this? All right. Let's just guess. Maybe it's the Frog Prince something? I don't know. I don't know. This is one of my favorite Two of Cups cards. Oh, okay. We have stepped out of the Western tradition here. So let's just double check, make sure I know which story this is. They don't tell you up front. All right, so I'm confused. I will just say that if you know what this story is, just pop it in the comments. I love it when people engage with my videos. It's so much fun. So yeah, I'm going to keep going. And I mean, she looks like Mulan in this picture, but I don't think that's who we're talking about. Oh, we do have a little bit of nudity, but nothing graphic. This is beautiful. Oh, I got to get to the bottom of this story. Oh, but I don't really think of this as the 9 of Cups. I would have thought of this as the 10, but all right. Okay. So our court cards are just characters in the story. They're not really part of the actual storyline, if I'm getting this right. All right, Pentacles. Is that pomegranate? Again, I don't know what the story is. So if you do, pop it in the comments, please. I mean, you can see the progression of the story here, so that's very cool. And you can see how it corresponds with the RWS system. So that makes sense too. All right, so now to answer the question, does this deck simply duplicate in a different genre? Not genres, right? Different flavor. What I have here, and I think the answer is, ooh, look how it gets all smudged up. I think the answer is no, it does not. This one definitely wins with backs. This is a basic, let's call it a basic back. And so you can see it arrived bowed. It's a very glossy stock. The cards are a decent thickness. It's not like you're not going to just bend it. Let's see how it shuffles. I'm not a great riffle shuffler, so, you know, and these are seem a little slippery, so. Ooh, okay. It shuffles okay. For somebody who's not a great shuffler, that was clumsy, but you know. All right, so that's that. Let's look at the book a little bit more. So we have the Tarot, Fairy Tales, and Forest Plants. Oh, okay. Oh, here we go. The Wands is Hansel and Gretel. Swords is Sleeping Beauty. Cups are the Goose Girl and the Well. And Pentacles is the Little Thumb. I do not know Little Thumb. And Goose Girl, I know very, not even enough to recognize it. So that would tell you. And they've got a flower, a plant associated with each story. Let's see what the pomegranate is, since I know nothing about this story. And I love Pentacles. So the Tarot suit of Pentacles represents the earth, the element that connects us closest to the material world and to Mother Nature and her creatures. These cards symbolize prosperity, security, and hard work, but also practicality and the ability to keep your feet firmly planted on the ground. Tale of Little Thumb is an earth story, starting with the pebbles he uses to mark his way home and leading up to when he reaches the ogre, a Chthonian creature par excellence. The plant that relates to this fairy tale is the pomegranate flower, a magical plant, and, thanks to its shiny seeds, the fruit of abundance. All right, so yeah, and just kind of what we thought. The core cards are a significant part of the minor arcana, comprised of figures who represent various aspects of human personality. Okay, so they're like characters from the story, and they've got a nice chart here. And each one of them is associated with a herb or a flower, plant. So that's interesting. That's some interesting correspondences. You know, outside of the Herb Crafters Tarot, I don't see it that often. And let's just pick a card at random. Take this one and look it up and see how we read it. Death. We got death. Goody. All right. This is the Wolf Woman. I guess I can just leave it with the book. That's a matte picture. It won't be so shiny. This tale tells the story of a lonely old woman who lives in a hidden place surrounded by bones, mainly wolves, which she collects and revives through chanting. So this sounds a little bit like a Norse myth or something. The bones transform into either a wolf-like creature or sometimes a woman. The card of death signifies the awareness of the cycle of life, involves both an ending and a rebirth. The wolf woman with her mystical powers and chants, and the death card with its symbolic representation of transformation, ask you to look beyond appearances and embrace the natural flow of life. Comfrey, the plant of this card, relates to the bones. It repairs, then aids the healing process and helps them stay stronger, especially after a separation or fracture. Well, that's lovely. That's a lovely association. And the little phrase is, each end is a crossing that leads to a revolutionary rebirth. Yeah, so, you know, that revolution, that's a big word, and death is a big card. It's a major arcana card, so. All right. I thought I had gotten something on the book, but it's this business. Is that in the front and the back? Oh, okay. So the little introduction and then the end has got these little markings on the page. All right, so here's this person's bit about, you know, her take on the cards. Oh, that's interesting. She's got the birth card and the year card in here. And, of course, 3 card spreads. What is she? Oh, that's interesting, because usually you see past, present, and future, but here we've got situation, obstacle, development. All right. And we've got a 5 card, the Heart of the Forest. That's sort of a charming concept. And then there's a little bit about our artist and our creator. All right. So I guess Vivita is something from US Games. I'm not sure about that title, but well, I really like the back of the book. I wish that was the back of the cards, right? All right, it's a keeper. It's not going into purgatory, none of that. It's just going to get used. Let's see if we can put something a little more upbeat on the end. Here we go. Here we go. It's Alice for the end. Thanks for stopping by. If you thought that was interesting, you'd like to see my take on other decks, hit the like, subscribe, check a look at the playlists. I've done a lot of walkthroughs, and I think I call them deck introductions in my playlist names. All right, thanks for stopping by. Go find something beautiful and fun and lovely to enjoy. Bye-bye.